Hey everyone, David C. Anderson here coming at you from the Knife Center. And today we're taking a look at the LT Wright Gen 5. Let's check it out. So the brand new Gen 5 from LT Wright Knives is a modern update of the classic Kephart knife pattern. Much like the original Kolklesser made Kephart knife had a 4-inch and 5-inch bladed version, this Gen 5 is a 5-inch bladed version of their original Genesis, which helped launch the LT Wright knives and has a blade just over 4 inches. Apart from that added blade length, this is exactly the same thing you know and love from that Genesis. It still has that fantastic broomstick style handle that fills the hand very nicely and makes it very comfortable to engage in long wood carving and whittling sessions. The blade steel is A2, which is a great tough option for an outdoors field knife. It'll initially be available in 2 different grinds, both a Scandi grind, which is a Bushcraft classic, and the Saber grind shown here that has a flat primary bevel. I actually had a chance to use this knife on a recent outing, and I found that extra blade length to be very helpful when doing all kinds of stuff around the camp. Even with that extra length, the balance of this knife is fantastic and it's very controllable. I was able to use it in a range of different activities, including some woodworking. At one point we were making tri-sticks and we were able to demonstrate a bunch of the notches that you might use in a bushcraft or survival situation. The handle made it very easy to bear down when doing things like stop cuts or notching. And the tip was still close enough to the handle that I found it very easy to control when doing things like a box or cylinder reduction. I was able to get my thumb right behind the edge, holding the stick in this hand, and do some very fine and very controlled motions quite easily. And when I was doing things like this, that's another area where this simple handle design comes in really handy. Because there's no odd shape, it's very easy to hold this in just about any manner you wish. We've got a nice smooth pommel, which means it's easy to stick it in your palm right here. And you can do drilling tasks with this knife because the point is right along the center line. It makes it very easy and very efficient. And that also came in handy when I was doing that fine work with the tip. These handles are shaped by hand and you'd be hard pressed to find any hot spots. But one of the nicest features I like about this handle design are the addition of the thumb scallops right here. That gives you a nice pinch point on the knife, whether you're using it for smaller tasks or reverse for using that spine while you're scraping. And like all LT Wright knives, this was also very useful when we were trying to get a fire going. For one thing, it features a 90-degree spine, which makes it very usable for things like scraping, including when you want to scrape a fire steel or ferrocerium rod to throw sparks and get your flames going. It was also useful earlier in this situation when I was prepping some tinder. I was able to use the blade to harvest some bark from a tree, and I was then able to use the backside with that crisp spine to run along the inside of the bark and feather up the fibers so that I could get a nice good tinder bundle. But let's say for instance that good tinder material wasn't ready available and you had to get your fire going from a single piece of wood. I'd have no qualms actually using this knife to split that piece of wood because the construction is top notch. In addition to using that tough A2 steel, we've got canvas micarta handles that are very secure on this tang. You can see these loveless or fisheye style bolts right here, but that's not all that's keeping these attached. The LT Wright team also uses a heavy 2-ton marine grade epoxy to hold these in place, meaning the scales are secured both chemically and mechanically, but even if something were to happen, these do have a lifetime warranty. So after batoning your log down to kindling size, you're going to want to make some feather sticks. And because of that full grip, it's very easy to bear down and get some good pressure when you're going through that task. But if you want a little more control and you're the kind of person who likes to choke up on your knife blade, the front of the scales here forms sort of a shelf, which makes a very handy place for hooking your thumb over and getting right up behind that blade for even finer control. Last but not least, I want to talk about the sheath real quick. You'll have to pardon the marks on this one because this is a used example that I actually put through its paces, but we get a high quality leather sheath and it's made by JRE Industries, and just like the knife itself, it's made here in America. The sheath does come with a loop here on the side for holding your ferro rod. And in terms of carry, you've actually got a couple different options of how you're going to attach this to your belt. It does come equipped with a dangler attachment, which allows you to hook your belt through here. And if you're wearing a pack or a longer coat, it's a great way to have this sticking out below so it's easier to access. It's also handy when you're getting in and out of vehicles because you've got a little bit of motion this way. It's easier to sit down in the driver's seat without it poking you in the side. However, if you're not too keen on the dangler carry system and prefer to carry it a little bit higher, you can simply fold this back and there's still plenty of length right here to thread your belt through the top. So the Gen 5 is going to make a fantastic addition to the Genesis family of LT Wright knives, and it's quickly becoming one of our favorite bushcraft knives here at the Knife Center. If you want to get your hands on one, you can order now at knifecenter.com using the link below.